Beside me, see a lazy bird hatching an egg. I'm tired and I'm bored, I've got kicks in my leg from just sitting here day after day. It's work, how I hate it, I'd much rather play. I'd take a vacation, flying off for a rest, if I could find someone to stay in my nest. If I could find someone, I'd fly away free. Then Horton the elephant passed by a tree. Hello, called the lazy bird, smiling her best. You've nothing to do, and I do need a rest. Would you like to sit on the egg in my nest? Me on your egg, why that doesn't make sense. Your egg is so small, man, and I'm so immense. I can't set the elephant, please beg the bird. I won't be gone long, sir, I give you my word. I'll hurry back, why I'll never be missed. Very well, said the elephant, since you insist. Why, you want a vacation? Go fly away and take it. I'll sit on your egg, and I'll try not to break it. I'll stay and be faithful, I mean what I say. Toodaloo, sang out Maisie, and fluttered away. The first thing to do, muttered Horton, let's see. The first thing to do is to prop up this tree and make it much stronger. That has to be done. Before I get on it, I must weigh a ton. Then carefully, tenderly, gently he crept up the trunk to the nest where the little leg slept. And he sat all that day and he kept the egg warm. He sat all that night through a terrible storm. I wish she'd come back, 'cause I'm cold and I'm wet. I hope that Miss Maisie Bird doesn't forget. But Maisie by this time was far beyond reach, enjoying the sunshine way off in Palm Beach, and having such fun, such a wonderful rest, decided she'd never go back to her nest. So Horton kept sitting there day after day, and soon it was autumn, the leaves blew away, and then came the winter, the snow and the sleet, and the icicles hung from his trunk and his feet. But Horton kept sitting and said with a sneeze, achoo! I'll stay on this egg and I won't let it freeze. So poor Horton sat there the whole winter through, and then came the springtime with troubles anew. His friends gathered round and they shouted with glee, look, Horton the elephant up in a tree! They taunted, they teased him, they yelled, how absurd. Old Horton the elephant thinks he's a bird. They laughed and they laughed and they all ran away, and Horton was lonely, he wanted to play. But he sat on the egg and boldly would say, no matter what happens, this egg must be tended. Yet poor Horton's troubles were far, far from ended. For a while Horton sat there so faithful and kind, 3 hunters came sneaking up softly behind. Look, they all shouted, can such a thing be? An elephant on top of a tree. Let's take him alive, why he's terribly funny. We'll sell him to America, to a circus for money. And the first thing he knew, that they built a big wagon with ropes on the front for the pullers to drag him on. They dug up his tree and they put it aside, with Horton so sad that he practically cried. We're off, the men shouted, and off they all went, with Horton unhappy 100%. We're going to continue on with the story. And bobbing around for 2 weeks like a cork, they landed at last in the town of New York. Sold to a circus, then week after week, they'd show him to people at 10 cents a peek. They took him to Boston, to Kalamazoo, Chicago, Weehawken, and Washington too. And everywhere thousands of folks flock to see and laugh at the elephant up in a tree. Then one day the circus show happened to reach a town way down south, not so far from Palm Beach. And dawdling along way up high in the sky, who of all people should chance to fly by but that good old for-nothing bird, Runaway Maisie, still on vacation and still just as lazy. And she swooped from the clouds through an open tent door. Good gracious, gasped Maisie, I've seen you before. Poor Horton looked up, with his face white as chalk. He started to speak, but before he could talk, there rang out the noisiest, ear-splitting squeaks, squeak, from the egg that he'd sat on for 51 weeks. A thumping, a bumping, a wild, a life scratching. My egg, shouted Horton, my egg, why it's hatching. But it's mine, screamed the bird when she heard the egg crack. The work was all done, now she wanted it back. Poor Horton backed down with a sad, heavy heart. But at the very instant the egg burst apart. And out of the pieces of red and white shell, from the egg that he'd sat on so long and so well, Horton the elephant saw something whiz. It had ears and a tail and a trunk just like his. And the people came shouting, what's all this about? They looked and they stared.